to come in and talk about current events, the election issues, and the candidate interviews. So that's our programming for D2020. That being said, let's welcome to the Zoom feed Franklin Bunker Meno, Democrat candidate for senator. Good morning.
Morning, Chris. Good morning, Sabrina.
Good morning.
And you are zooming us.
I cannot see you guys.
Well, you're not missing much on my end, Prim. But you're zooming. You're zooming from.
Huh?
You're zooming from Malolo, no?
Yes, sir. Right in front of my house.
Right on. And so
Thanks a lot.
let's go ahead and just ask you the first question. Being a Southern man, what do you think are one of the big issues facing the South as we head into this primary election?
I didn't hear the first part of the question.
Yeah. So what do you think are some of the biggest issues facing Southern residents, right? Because we get that a lot in the South where like, oh, they forgot about us or, oh, they don't know. So just being a product of the South, what do you think are the important issues facing the South?
Well, before COVID started, as I was circulating my petition and hoping to gain support with the people I met, consistent complaint is jobs for the youth right out of high school. How come they're not? Those were the most consistent. They should get the South in there so we can help the South get better jobs and get better education and things like that. That's what I was hearing. And
Okay, so from what you're hearing and what you plan on doing then, if elected, can you share with us your platform or at least your top 3 priorities?
Tell them to unmute.
You'll need to unmute your microphone.
unmute.
Yeah.
I don't know
There you
if it's that by itself. One of the ideas I had as far as getting the youth employed straight out of high school when they graduate is programs like apprentice programs, perhaps maybe even 2 years college paid in full, things like that to help them get into the job market provided with proper training instead of just graduating, get a diploma, and then have to figure out where they're going to go from there if they don't already have plans and aspirations to going to college. They end up getting a minimum wage job or leave the island to look for better jobs. So right out of high school, I was a product of that. I didn't get any apprentice programs offered, and I don't know to date if that's available for high school kids, but I think it's something we should implement in the policies that high school kids can have apprentice program options and college tuition paid if they graduate in those fields.
Could we also...
Hello?
Go ahead.
I'll just let you go ahead and ask the next question.
Okay. So we know that you ran last election, right? What is different about this bid for senator? And how were you able to? Yeah, how were you able to kind of change up, or did you change up some of the issues that you were campaigning on in your last try?
More of the same of the last time when I campaigned. I was just as broke then as I am now, and I don't come from a wealthy background or wealthy support in that matter of campaigning. So now COVID came unexpected, and my plans that I had for this time was to go out to the community centers and meet with the youth who are old enough to vote and advocate for them to vote, because whatever choices us senators or whoever makes it in this election, when it's all said and done, whatever choices they make and bills they propose or pass, I hope that it would work for the kids' future and not so much our time now. What we do now, today, and the choices you make today will affect your future. So I wanted to go out into the communities, the basketball court, wherever they hang out and congregate, and just meet them in a group. Try to make them understand why they need to go. That was my plan. And then COVID hits, and now we cannot social cannot be around in a gathering and have social distancing.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
that changed the game.
Frank, for people
I had,
who
I had to stop. I had to stay home.
Right.
right. And for people who
And I'm
aren't
sick. I'm diabetic. Sorry.
for people who aren't familiar or don't recall your last bid for public office in 2018, if you could just tell us a little bit about your background and your experiences that you plan to bring to the table, or that you will bring to the table.
Well, in 2018, cannabis wasn't legal yet, and that was basically part of my drive was to help legalize cannabis, and Clipper Joe took care of that.
Mm-hmm.
But almost a year later, that's still nothing going on there. But this time, the demographics changed. You know, we got COVID-19. People are scared.
Yeah.
This administration sat on her butt and didn't do anything for a little while, and a lot of people were angry. And I am fed up of the complaints even before COVID, and now with COVID. That's another reason why I stepped up to see if I could bring something different to the table. Grassroots struggle. I came from struggle, humble beginnings. That's the kind of stuff I think people want to see. They want people to get in,
Mm-hmm.
that know more about people than.
Right. So what
I
again
think
is
this-
your platform? You were talking
I'm
about
the
education.
The three E's.
Ease?
I
The
call it.
three
I
E's.
just named it. The three E's: the environment, education, and enforcement. Ecology, our dumping situation, the marine life, trash. You know, all this stuff
Right.
are
Mhm.
priorities for me.
Hey, so obviously being a new candidate, right? There's a lot of people who are disgruntled with the incumbents for just a bunch of different reasons. As a new candidate, what do you think you're bringing that maybe some people who have been career politicians or who have been in there too long are not bringing?
As far as career politicians, this election, this is the most trying time for people. A lot of struggle, and I refuse to be go negative with anybody. I really, if I think about it, I don't want to talk bad about the administration because I make it in. I need to be able to work with her. And as far as the talking bad part, I think that's too late for me. But I get in. It's about teamwork, right? So you got to work with whoever's in there and try and change hearts and minds, and have them see your idea by inspiring them to think it's a good idea and move forward instead of stifling it because you disagree. Let's try to change the concept in our politics. Agree to disagree and move forward. Stop stifling other politicians' attempts because you don't agree. That's been a consistent problem in our legislature, and I bring to the table something different because I know struggle, and I've also had a time where I didn't struggle. So the only thing I could think of, sir, is bring different concept and different mentality, a different heart, and different mind, and help people change because we have the capacity to change.
Right, that new perspective. So when you talk about incumbents and stifling, you're right. There has been a lot of times where our elected leaders just cannot agree to even disagree or even work together. But then on the flip side of that bunk is that we have the Democratic supermajority, which has pretty much acted as a rubber stamp for the administration. Now, I know you said you want to work together if elected, but how do the senators and you, if you do get a seat in the legislature, how do you guys plan to hold the administration accountable? Because people are talking about that with this Democratic supermajority, that they have failed to police their own party.
Well, on a moral standpoint, a lot of things that happened during this COVID. Hello.
Yeah, Brad.
Well, the things that happened since COVID has showed true colors in quite a bit of our elected leaders, especially the top seat. Didn't hear much from Josh. I don't know why that is, but they just, they didn't expect any accountability or, let's say, Candid News didn't. I mean, if he didn't do any FOIAs or look into some investigations on things, we might not even have found out what was going on during the COVID. So, I'm not surprised that when it comes to making money, that people get clouded in their judgment, especially if they're used to it. When you're poor, the only thing that's clouded is the sky when you're looking for something to eat or go out and make money so that you have something to eat. So some of the people they put in there to take care of, like the Pacific Stargate, Pacific Star, these people are well off and they displaced over 30 people who had the option or might have had the option to take those jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's corruption in its highest level, if you ask me. But then again, I'm not part of that party or that group. So I don't really know much in the inside side. But from the outside, like the Bank of Guam getting COVID Heroes Act money, and then the governor being her family owning the bank, that in itself is conflict of interest. So corruption might fall hand in hand with that.
Mm-hmm. I wanted to talk about Frank, your 3 E's. I think we should hear a little bit more about, and maybe we're running out of time, but real quickly, environment. We talked about illegal dumping. What are your solutions to address this?
I think we should stop charging our residents to throw their trash in or to dispose their trash, which would probably deter illegal dumping. When they used to pick up the trash before they charged us, I didn't see as much illegal dumping because they didn't have to pay. And some people that do the most illegal dumping are either drug addicts or just poor and they can't afford, or they're having struggles to afford dumping, and it's really expensive. And on the dumping, why are we putting trash on the ground on top of major water tributary of the South? Is beyond me as far as that concept. So I think we should recycle. Is our goal that we should set for the people of Guam is to itemize all trashes and dispose of them or turn it waste to energy or ship it off the island.
Okay.
That's the stuff we don't have now. We just put in a bag, throw it in here in Malolo behind my house, about half a mile.
Well, thanks, Mr. Meno. You have about a minute and a half just to wrap it up and give your final pitch to why people should vote for you.
Well, people should consider voting for me because I know people. I come from struggle. I come from humble beginnings. I'm not buttering up. What you see is what you get. And, we're humans. We're not perfect. We make mistakes. And if you continue to make mistakes, then, you have issues. But if you make mistakes, failure is inevitable in anything. And if you give up, you'll never succeed. Which is why I came out for a second time, because if I gave up, then I'll never know. And I didn't want to just wonder. I'd rather have tried and failed than wonder if I could have succeeded. So that's my drive as running for senator, is bringing to the table what's hardly ever seen on the table. Someone who's not a career politician, doesn't know. I don't know anything about it. I just know that we've been tricked all this time. Promises made during election season and never delivered until about around election season. Then some of the things they promise get delivered, and it's only because they want to garner more votes. So with that said, I am asking for people to give me a chance to bring something different because I know what they're going through.
Okay.
That's the difference for me.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Meno, and good luck to you. And
Okay, Brent.
All right. And we'll talk to you again after the primary election.
Right on. Wash your thumbs. 9:17. Again, if you're just